Good evening to everyone and welcome to Reach for the Stars. My name is Imi Vaselka and I'm in the engineering pathway. Next year, I plan to attend Texas A&M to study environmental engineering.
My name is Lisbeth Frausto and I'm in the engineering pathway. Next year, I plan to attend Yale University to study ethics, politics, and economics.
My name is Sukeji Tombe. I am in the biomedical pathway, and my top 3 choices are UChicago, Emory, and Rice, and I plan to study biochemistry in college.
My name is Annalisa Garcia, and I am in the biomedical pathway. Next year, I plan to attend American University to study political science.
We are the Starlight News crew team, and we're very excited to be your MCs this evening. Thank you to our drumline from the Ann Richards School Marching Band for that awesome intro to the night.
Our marching stars are headed to New York City to march in the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. So be sure to tune in this November to see the only all-female competitive marching band perform in the parade.
On behalf of the class of 2021, thank you for joining us at the 10th annual, technically should have been the 11th, Reach for the Stars Gala.
We're here to celebrate the class of 2021 from the Ann Richards School for Young Women Leaders.
Here's the best part. We received 478 acceptances to 148 colleges and universities, including SMU, Tulane, American University, Yale, OU, Washington University, University of Chicago, Emory, George Washington, Texas A&M, and UT.
The class of 2021 has earned more than $12.3 million in merit-based awards and scholarships. That's pretty great, especially during a pandemic.
Speaking of the pandemic, I would like to give a special thanks to all of our amazing teachers, counselors, admin, staff, and custodians for all your hard work, seen and unseen, to keep the Ann Richards School a healthy and safe learning environment for us all virtually and in person.
You have helped us achieve our dreams, and we would not be the stars we are today without your support. Tonight, we are excited to bring you something different, something you haven't already watched on Netflix a few times, something fresh. We are going to proudly present interviews that focus on our school's 3 pathways:
Biomed, Engineering, and Media Tech. As a student in the engineering pathway, I was able to explore the makerspace and 3D print parts for prosthetic hands that were donated to people in need. And I also had the opportunity to intern at Gensler.
We will also showcase our new home for the stars by setting up our interviews in locations throughout the new building.
Consider this your invitation to tour the new building with a sneak peek from yours truly.
Before we get started, we would like to share a special thanks to our Reach for the Stars sponsors.
The presenting sponsor, the Alice Clayburgh Reynolds Foundation.
Educator sponsor, Wells Fargo. Salutatorian sponsors, Insperity and the Young Women's Preparatory Network.
And our virtual sponsors. We are so grateful for their generous support.
Let's get started with the evening's first set of videos featuring my Ann Richards School sister, Maya Maldonado, and her interviews with Tori Valtierra and Yamish Alcindor.
Maya's interviews will highlight the school's media technology pathway.
Tori Baltierra is a class of 2019 graduate from the Ann Richards School and is a band member from the group Tiara Girls. The Tiara Girls feature an eclectic sound with anthemic lyrics celebrating a message of unity and empowerment through the fierce sisterhood of Tiffany, Tori, and Sophia Baltierra, all proud Ann Richards School alumni.
Yamish Alcindor is the White House correspondent for the PBS NewsHour and a political contributor for NBC News and MSNBC. Please join me in watching Maya Maldonado's interviews.
Hi. How are you? Good. Look at the new building. This is crazy. One of my favorites so far. Alright. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really hope you enjoyed the tour of the building. It's very big compared to our last building, if you haven't noticed. Yes, it's very beautiful. How has the Media Tech pathway prepared you for things beyond high school?
That's a good question. I think Media Tech was kind of the first step into giving me momentum for audio and what I wanted to do in college, and especially like for my band and working on productions. I think what I've kept is like teamwork and communication, the discipline in communication and teamwork and small groups, and not being too bossy, but also like letting people do what their roles are accustomed to and what your role is for, has helped me in like school because I have small classes, but I'm also the only girl. So like there's a lot of different roles and roles of communication you have to balance with. So definitely media tech has helped me in college and now in my band, because when you go into the real world, when you're not going to school for like 8 hours a day, you have many obstacles that are coming at you and you have to like think on your feet, which can be scary. But once you realize it's you who's in control, you're like, okay, I can do whatever I want for myself. So
I like that.
yeah.
What's the biggest thing that you've taken away from Ann Richards, whether it's like a mindset, a quote, a skill habit?
Overall, like women empowerment, not a lot of you realize that like not everyone goes to an all-girl school for 7 years. So you have like a lot within yourself that's very special, and then you can contribute to like the people that are in your classes. And it's kind of like definitely growing pains when you hear people say like sexist comments, or like they're not nice to you, or you're underrepresented in your classes and in your school. So I definitely held on to that part of my identity that I got from Ann Richards, the woman empowerment, and just like renovated that too, because it's very important to empower yourself. And I definitely think that coming from an all-girls school for 7 years kind of like definitely harbored that empowerment within myself.
Now, what would you say is not only the band's message, but you as a person, your message as well, that you would like to relay to your audience?
I think I really aligned myself with our band's message in a different number of ways. We always say like we want to be a voice for those who aren't heard or can't be one for themselves or are afraid to speak up. So we use our talent of music and our combination of metaphors and melodies and guitar chords and drum beats to just like show the world like what we see through our lens, because we know that people can relate. There's other girls out there that are like going through the same stuff as us and they want to hear music, and we just decided to combine those two worlds and also include advocacy, because since we are on a stage, it's a given that people are going to be looking at us, they're going to be listening, so we might as well give them something to think about and to connect with, and to do, like to vote, to like go protest, to tell your friends that voting is cool sometimes, you know, that your voice actually counts. So yeah, I think my message within myself is to just keep working for myself, for others. I put myself first because obviously that's a very important thing to do, but I use my privilege to help others and to represent communities that I'm in through music and through advocacy.
You're so cool. Oh my
Okay, thank you.
Now, on behalf of all the seniors here at Ann Richards, could you give us any tips, tricks, or advice as we soon start our college life?
My piece of advice to seniors, current and in the future, would be to focus on yourself, hold on to your identity, hold on to parts of the past that you found strength in, leave room for growth, be kind to yourself, have enough of yourself to pour into others, and recharge yourself always, because you're the only person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life.
Oh, thank you so much. That was actually my last question. I really enjoyed this interview, and I really hope you did too.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
All right, well, thank you so much for making time out of your day for this interview. If I can just mention real quick, I really love your background. I saw the tweet on Room Rater, how you got a 10 out of 10.
Oh, thank you so much.
Could you describe what a day in the life of a national political reporter looks like?
Well, that's a great question, and it's interesting because I don't know if there's a typical day in the life. I can tell you that I wake up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I'm checking the news, trying to figure out what's been going on. I start emailing sources around 7 to 8 o'clock, starting to ask questions about what's going on and what we know about the news of the day. I then go through and I'm checking Twitter, calling more people. For me, as someone who is a political contributor for MSNBC and also a reporter for PBS, I'm doing both of those jobs. So I'm usually gearing up for 1 or 2 hits on cable, while then also getting ready to present some sort of news package on PBS. Our show is from 6 to 7 p.m. in most cities. So in some ways, it's about kind of collecting news and talking to people for about 8 hours and then going back and writing what the story is for the day. And so it's still a pretty busy beat as a White House correspondent.
Now, knowing that you're very passionate about journalism and just reporting information to your audience, what are the core values of your work?
The core values of my work as a journalist are really about fairness, about justice, about truth-telling, about being accurate, about also showing empathy to the people that I cover. I think those are the things that I would consider to be foundational to my work. I want to make sure I'm right. I want to make sure that the information I'm giving people is accurate. I also want to make sure that it's fair, which means that it's not that I'm having false equivalencies. So case in point, if someone says climate change isn't happening and 10 scientists say it is, my role is to not say, oh, this person thinks this and this person thinks that, but it's to say, here's what the facts tell us. The facts tell us that the climate is changing. The facts tell us that racism in America is still an issue because of the data we see in education and policing and all sorts of other things. So for me, it's really about making sure that when the audiences see my work or read my work or listen to my work, that they come away with a real picture of what America is. And I also think it's grounded in empathy. I want people, when they watch my stories, if I'm interviewing someone, to feel like they understand what it's like to live in that person's shoes. So I really try to give people a real glimpse into what people's lives are like, including people who they may never meet.
Now, is there ever a time when you felt a bit out of place when it comes to your work, or did you immediately think, this is the job for me, realizing that you loved your job? Because I remember you mentioning that you knew you were very passionate about journalism from the very start.
I'm really lucky that I knew pretty much by the time I was 16 that I knew I wanted to be a journalist. And I'm lucky in that regard. I got my first choice as a career. It's something that I absolutely feel grateful and blessed and cherished to have this career in journalism. I will say that there are times that I definitely felt like, oh my God, can I really do this? I remember when I was hired by the New York Times to cover the 2016 presidential campaign, and I was assigned Bernie Sanders, and I had never covered politics before. So I was terrified that I was going to mess up. I was so scared. I was just thinking, please let me make sure that I get this right. Let me make sure that I could do this. And that nervous energy really helped me because I was so focused on making sure I was doing the job well that I just had to do it well, that in some ways it made the doing of the job a little bit easier because I wanted to make sure that I was doing a good job. I think that that's natural in some ways to have that kind of nervous energy. And I try to tell people, if you feel nervous, it's because this is really important to you and that you should be in some ways leaning into that because it tells you that means that this is something that you really, really care about. So in some ways that there are times that I definitely feel nervous and I definitely question myself on, oh my God, can I really do this? And I've been lucky that I've been able to say, yeah, I think I can do this. And then I go and do it. I switched to TV reporting about 3 years ago, and I was really, really nervous. I was like, can I really be a TV reporter? Can I get on national television and talk to millions of people? And it was really nerve-wracking. But at the end of the day, I figured out, yes, you can do this and you love doing this and you have to figure out how to get better at this. And I have mentors again who told me, oh, you're talking too fast or you're talking too slow, or here's how you should look at the camera, or here's when people really feel connected to you. I've definitely been open to growing and open to having good feedback, that especially constructive feedback that helps me grow. I think that's critical. So I definitely have had moments where I've had to navigate that. And I've been lucky to have a lot of great people to help me.
I really like how you mentioned that being nervous is something normal because you find it really important. So I'm definitely taking that with me to college. What advice do you wish you could have given the future you when you were a kid? And what reassurance would you give kid you now?
The future advice that I would give kid me, high school me, is to really believe in yourself, to really not be scared of anything. Don't let people tell you, because for me, I came from a single parent household. I was Haitian American. I was first generation. There are all these different labels that the society puts on you that makes you feel like you're coming at this life as a sort of underdog, when in reality, you are as smart and as brilliant as all the other people that you admire, and you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. So whatever it is that you want to do, just go after it. So I would tell myself to just have a little bit of fun and believe in yourself.
Thank you so much. That is going to be the end of my questions.
This was a great, great conversation. You're so bright. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much.
The Media Technology Pathway allows my Ann Richards sisters to utilize state-of-the-art multimedia technology in filmmaking, broadcasting, computer graphics, and other creative ventures.
With your support today, a donation to the Ann Richards School Foundation will help create opportunities for girls to pursue careers in fields that are traditionally underrepresented by women. Thank you.
Next up, we are proud to present a set of videos featuring my Ann Richards School sister, Alexa Menchaca, and her interviews with Libertad Escobar and Reshma Saujani.
Alexa's interviews will highlight the school's engineering pathway. Libertad Escobar is a proud class of 2015 alumna from the Ann Richards School and currently works as a mechanical design engineer at Pump Studios here in Austin, Texas.
Reshma Saujani is the founder and CEO of Girls Who Code, the international nonprofit organization working to close the gender gap in technology while teaching girls confidence and bravery through coding. Please join me in watching Alexa Menchaca's interviews.
Hi, how are you? Good, nice to meet you.
With the Ann Richards mission statement, I think it really just it tells people what the school is about. So what part of the mission statement resonated with you most in college?
Committing to a healthy and well-balanced lifestyle. I know at Ann Richards that could either mean like so many different things, you know, whether it's like mental health, physical health, you know, eating healthy, exercising daily, but also just being like healthy with like your goals and achievements, like, you know, making sure that you're, you know, setting the right expectations for yourself, but that you're also not kind of pushing yourself over a certain limit. So really making sure you know how to instill like proper balance in your own lifestyle and in your own goals. You know, definitely make sure to challenge yourself, but also know when you need to, you know, what are realistic expectations, you know, to really keep a balance.
So when choosing your pathway here at Ann Richards, you went the engineering pathway, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so did the engineering pathway help you kind of choose what you wanted to major in college?
Yes, it's actually the reason why I went to where I did and I'm working where I am now. So kind of a bit of a story. So I remember in middle school we took kind of like a Project Lead the Way STEM class, and during that class we designed bird feeders and race cars in Autodesk Inventor, and that was like my first experience ever with CAD software, so computer aided modeling, and I absolutely loved it. I was like, this is amazing, like this is what I want to do, because I think I knew I wanted to do something in STEM, but I also really liked art and design, and just kind of having that experience of designing and then building my own kind of race car bird feeder, it was just like, wow, I love this. Like, I like everything that I'm doing here. So then that definitely led me to going into the engineering pathway. And in our first year for Introduction to Engineering and Design, we visited Designage, a design company here in Austin that Ms. Lakshmanan arranged for us. And we went there, we met mechanical engineers and industrial designers, and they talked about product development and everything that they did. And we met one of the industrial designers there who showed us his tablet where he was doing these amazing sketches of products that they were developing. And I was like, wow, this is exactly what I want to do. It's like someone, you know, like answered my question, like, is there a job out there where I can do engineering but also do design and art? And so then that kind of like led me down that pathway of investigating more about that type of career. And then I think in 10th grade, we visited Pump Studios, another product development company here in Austin. And that's where I'm working now. So it's kind of all come full circle. Yeah. So I'm definitely very grateful for, you know, all the experiences I had.
So you went to Pump Studios in high school, and now you work there.
Yes.
So did that kind of like help you in getting your job?
Yes, it did. And I can tell you it did, because after I graduated, I was you email everybody, you send out your resume everywhere, and usually like if you can find something that's unique to pique somebody's attention, I mean, because you have to understand they're probably getting a lot of emails from potential candidates everywhere. So I emailed them, and I think my subject headline was like somewhere along the lines of like Ann Richards alumni visited you, applying for a job now, like applying for a mechanical engineering position. And so that piqued one of my boss's interest, and he was like, what, Ann Richards? He's like, yeah, I think I remember that. And so like that's how I kind of introduced myself, like, hi, like I visited when I was in high school. I went to Worcester Polytechnic Institute. I'm a mechanical engineer grad now, and I want to work with you guys, and here's my resume, my portfolio. And they called me back, and he said like, oh, I saw that you visited us, and I thought that was so interesting.
You've graduated from Ann Richards, and you've gone to college, and you have a job now and everything. So what advice would you give to the class of 2021?
It's never going to be always easy, but just remember that, that you can learn new things and that you can learn them and succeed. So kind of just having that self-confidence to like, to remember like, okay, like, I can do this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, just remember when the classes get hard, just remember you went through 6 years of Ann Richards doing all that work, like you can do it, like you really can.
For sure.
You can definitely learn anything you want.
All right, well, thank you so much again. It was really nice meeting you.
Yeah,
and,
it was great to meet you too. Thank you.
Okay, so hi, my name's Alexa. It's so nice to meet you.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you too.
Even if it's through Zoom. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time here at Ann Richards. We did a little Instagram poll because people knew we were going to interview you. So the first one is, if you could go back in time and do something differently, what would it be?
I would have learned how to be brave, not perfect earlier. I think as like the daughter of refugees, I always felt like I needed to make my parents happy and to do the thing that was going to make them proud, even though it's not what I wanted to do. And so I feel like I spent so much of my life growing up being, gravitating towards the things that I was good at and not trying the things that I didn't think that I could perfectly ace. And so I would have let go of that perfectionism earlier. I would have chased failure. I would have not taken rejection personally. And I would have, constantly put myself out of my comfort zone and learned how to be brave, not perfect.
So what advice do you have for women who want to go into the STEM field?
To just do it. And we need more women in STEM. And, everything about the way that we live and work is being touched by technology, right? It's being shifted and changed. And we need to have young women and women sitting at the table. We need women of color sitting around the table, again, coming up with the ideas of today and tomorrow. And it's like, we need your voices. We need your brain. We need your innovation. And so I'm just so proud that so many of you are going to be pursuing, STEM as a career. And I guess my piece of advice for you is like, don't give up. You may walk into your college classroom and you may be the only one. You may be the only Latina, right? Yeah. And you may not see people who look like you, and you may think, well, you don't belong. You do belong, and you are standing on the shoulders of giants. Your siblings, your sisters, your nieces, who look at you and say, well, she did it. Alexa did, so I can do it too. And so never give up. Never let anybody tell you that you can't do something, and just recognize that you are part of this enormous movement of change of women who are going to be creators and innovators. You still get to make mistakes. Part of what we do, I think, as women of color who are the first, same with me, right? I was the first. My parents came to this country as refugees, and I didn't have the luxury of feeling that I could mess up or, fall down. And that pressure sometimes is too much. And recognize that so much about failure is a privilege. Most of those guys, their company's funded. They get funded because they've made a lot of mistakes, and you learn from mistakes. And so I think you feel the pride in being the only one and being that Latina, but also feel the strength that there's a entire community that is lifting you up for your successes and for your failures.
So Girls Who Code is specifically to teach young girls how to code because we're not pushed as much as boys. What do young girls and women need to realize about coding to be successful?
That, coding is about, iteration. It's about failure. It's about that annoying semicolon being in the wrong place. And you get to do it again and again and again and again. And what's so great about it is that it allows you to build that bravery muscle. I also think in this past year has been such an example that like technology is about about the way we live and work. Things are moving so fast. Things are changing so fast. Barack Obama used to always say that the last jobs left will be the humans who are telling the computers what to do. And there's something really true there, that this is a skill set you have to learn. And it matters that we're not sitting around the table. I love to wear these hoops. And when I put my Apple AirPods on, what happened? Clink, clink, clink. So annoying, right? Invariably someone is like, what is that sound? And I'm like, it's my hoops. But the thing is whoever built, the team of engineers that built these Apple AirPods, they didn't wear hoops. So they couldn't have thought that a device that they built would not actually work for half the population. So this is happening every single day, right? That innovations are being made, built, created that are going to affect us. And we don't have a voice, and we need to have a voice. And that's why I think it's so important, to learn how to code. Even if you don't become an engineer or a software programmer, but maybe you want to be an entrepreneur. And the thing you want to build plays on technology. Like you want to not take yourself out of that running, right? Or not build that incredible creation because you don't feel like you can see the way that it's going to come together. So having a technical mind, understanding computer science is so critical because it's like basically learning how to problem solve, which I think you need for whatever you do.
So, many young girls and women look up to you as a leader. So what do you want those young girls and young women to take away from your leadership?
That it wasn't always perfect, that I made a lot of mistakes and I failed a bunch, and that every day, is a struggle. And that oftentimes, like I always say, like if I had applied for the Girls Who Code CEO job, I never would have gotten it. I ran for office twice, lost twice. Sometimes you have to create your own organization, company, vision, and the fact that you might not get hired for a job that you're plenty qualified for oftentimes has very little to do with you. So build it yourself.
So those are all the questions I have. I mean, if you wanted to add anything else.
This is great, Alexa. It was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, of course. It was wonderful talking to you.
Where are you going to school? Do you know where you're going to college?
Well, I'm still debating between two schools. I am thinking of going to Texas Tech University or the University of Houston. I'm waiting on this scholarship, so like if I get it, then
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
That's so wonderful. Well, make sure you stay in touch.
Of course.
Wherever you end up is exactly where you're meant to be.
Of course I will. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing
You're
this
welcome.
interview
Take
with
care.
us. Of course. All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.
We loved Alexa's interviews with Libertad Escobar and Reshma Saljani. Thank you both for sitting down with Alexa.
The engineering pathway allows my and Richard's sisters to problem solve through rigorous projects that put into practice skills such as collaboration, communication, and critical thinking.
A donation tonight to the Ann Richards School Foundation will support the STEM curriculum for all students, preparing the next generation of young women to become leaders in college and beyond. Thank you.
We are excited to share with you this next video. It's time to showcase the class of 2021.
Please enjoy my senior sisters, Karen Sanchez-Gonzalez, Kate Hall, and KG Jerkin as they highlight the many memories from 7 years as an Ann Richards student.
Our mission statement is like embodied this whole year. We say it at the beginning of every school day. And I think for me, it's just like a reminder to like push myself and that I do have these opportunities thanks to this school.
The class of 2021 is people who are very dedicated to what they're passionate about and who are really unforgettable and remarkable people.
They're family. I can say that they're my sisters. I can say that I'm super proud of every single one of them, and I'm grateful that we had a class like this because we're a very united class and we're always there for each other.
The class of 2021 is a family for me. I can be unapologetically myself and not feel judged. We love each other for the way that we are. We allow each other to grow and make mistakes. Senior year online is maybe not the most ideal situation, but we've pushed through it, and I'm really glad that my senior class, we've found like little things to just celebrate the little moments, and I think that's really important.
I mean, it's been pretty hard. I can't say it's been easy. I've had my hard times with it. I'm sad I can't have my senior year, but it has definitely taught me to have responsibility, accountability for myself.
Honestly, I've learned more about myself as an advocate, as a leader, as someone who people look up to in a sense as well.
Over the past year, we've learned what the true meaning of grace is and giving that to one of another because we are all going through different situations.
The new building, it feels like a dream come true. I knew for the longest we all wished for a new building, so it was pretty nice to see the new building come pretty much from the ground up to all the way it is now.
It's fun seeing everyone back in the classrooms and a community's kind of forming again, which we haven't had. It's a new beginning and it's a new chapter, and like that's what our class is about to face. We're opening a new chapter, and it's super exciting, and I'm excited for the school to keep growing. All the teachers, they spend countless hours here. We always joke that the teachers live here because they're just always here. They're here before school, after school.
What I appreciate about my teachers is how flexible and how caring they are about your success, how you're doing outside the classroom, and they really are invested in your growth and the person that you're going to become.
They're there not just to teach us, but to connect with us as students.
Something that we kind of always say is like, oh, it builds character. Like just any hardship that we go through, it just builds character. And I think to college, I hope that I'll just be open-minded and be grateful that I get those opportunities. And I'm super excited, and I'm really grateful that Ann Richards has taught me to do that.
The advice I would give to my Ann Richards sisters is that take advantage of every opportunity that you can get, and if one door closes, just remember that you can always build another one.
Don't be scared to try new things. Maybe the outcome isn't going to be where you want it to be. You would definitely learn something from that lesson, and it's something that I have learned from the past few years here.
My advice for my younger sisters is to take any opportunity that's given to you. It'll build character. You will be forever grateful for those memories. Like, you don't know what's to come, but try new things and say yes.
Seeing that video sure brings back some great memories as an Ann Richards star. It makes me thankful for the opportunities this campus has provided over the years. That's why it's so important to give to the Ann Richards School Foundation this evening, because a donation helps young women leaders from all backgrounds, all across Austin, all of us empowered to be change makers. And thanks to your ongoing support, we're ready for the next step.
Our last feature tonight is the Biomedical Pathway, presented by my Ann Richards sister, Sabine Jimenez-Williams, through interviews with Ariana Maldonado and Dr. Jewel Mullen.
Ariana Maldonado graduated from the Ann Richards School in 2016 and knew she wanted to be a pediatric nurse, so much so that after graduating from the Texas Tech School of Nursing, she went straight to the Dell Children's ER for her first job after her experience as an intern during her junior year here at Ann Richards.
Dr. Mullen is the Associate Dean for Health Equity at the Dell Medical School, an internist, epidemiologist, public health physician leader, and the former Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for Health in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Most recently, Dr. Mullen was one of 18 members nationally of the Committee on Equitable Allocation of Vaccine for the Novel Coronavirus. Please join me in watching Sabine Jimenez-Williams interviews.
Finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you, and I'm so excited to get to talk to you and to show you our brand new school.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to see the school and everything inside.
So crazy. I was like, wow, they built that windows, which always amazes me that there's a
And this is from the old front of the school.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming. I'm really excited to meet you and to get to talk to you.
Thank you.
Do you miss wearing your Ann Richards school uniform at all?
You know what? I do sometimes. It's just so funny because I would explain this to my friends too, like my friends that didn't go to Ann Richards. I'd be like, oh, y'all never understood the ease that we had. We just throw on like our collared shirt, and then you just throw on our skirt and roll out of bed and call it a day. Like, you wouldn't have to worry about like what you had to wear that day, and then just go into class and, not stress about what anybody else is wearing or what they have on, which is so nice. But I've seen the skirts out sometimes, and I'm like, oh, that's an Ann Richards girl. And so sometimes I will like go up and say hi, if they recognize me or not. But it's just nice because you'll see the skirts in the community, even when you don't think you will. And when you do, you're like, oh, like that's one of my sisters. And so you'll say hi, and then they'll say hi, and then their parents will be like, oh my goodness, how are you? How do you like it? And then just start a whole conversation. So there's like a network of us out there, and when you see us again, it's never like oh, I'm not going to say anything. It's like oh, I'm going to go say hi. Like, I want to know how they're doing. Sometimes, like when I go through like my old clothes and stuff, or like in the storage, I'll see it. I'm like, oh, bring back memories of that old school.
Where did you intern your junior year, and what did you learn?
So I interned at Dell Children's Medical Center. My internship itself was in the emergency department. I interviewed with the supervisor of the emergency department unit, and that is the same supervisor that interviewed me for my job that I have now.
Wow.
So when I went back, I was all nervous and ready to do my interview and talking with like 2 or 3 people in the room, and then that supervisor had walked in and sat down and started reading through like the resume, and then she just like stopped us mid-interview, and she was like, wait a minute, wait. and I was like kind of nervous, and I was like, uh-oh, what does she see on my resume? And she was like, wait, you went to Ann Richards, right? And I was like, yes, I did. And she was like, well, no, I remember y'all are that is the all-girls school that came to, y'all had that interview, or y'all had the internship, y'all in y'all's high school. And I said, yeah, that was us. And she was like, I remember. And then she just like stopped, and she was like, how are you doing? Give me a hug. That internship kind of just showed you the things you do and don't like. So, I went to the emergency department, and I just loved it. And so since that internship, I like set my mind, like I really want to do the emergency department. I really hope I get this job once I go to school and graduate. And when I came down to it and I was applying to different jobs, I applied to this one here in Austin, then I had like 2 other jobs out of state. And I got all 3 jobs, but I was like, okay, let me weigh my options. I was like, no, I really love this job. I want to stay home in Austin. And so I got this job, and it's full circle because there were some people that were working then that are still working now, and they remember me when I was younger, and they were like, I remember you in your little skirt. You would come and you would sit and help us. And I'm like, oh, now I'm back. I went to school, graduated, now I'm back, which is so nice. And just having that full circle was really awesome, and it was thanks to Ann Richards for setting that up for us.
That's so cool. That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Have any of the lessons that you learned at Ann Richards helped you in your career?
Now that I'm at work, I feel like I am thankful, for Ann Richards for showing us all those stressful moments, because the job I have now is really stressful. There's definitely stressful moments, and so you kind of have to learn yourself and learn how you cope with things like that, and how you take a step back and take a minute and regroup and reorganize, and then tackle it head on, because these are the types of skills that they taught us back in school, and you kind of carry that throughout your life. And for me, I take that and carry it into work, because I'm like, okay, calm down and then just go. You need to do. And so those are the skills that we learned, and I definitely use those on a daily basis.
Thank you. That's good advice, and I'm happy to talk to somebody who's doing something similar to what I want to do. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Sabine.
Nice to meet you. I was going to ask you whether I should call you Strum.
Oh, yeah. My nickname is Sabine the Running Machine. Because I like to run.
I'll call you Sabine.
Okay, thank you. I read that you responded to the Zika and Ebola outbreaks as well as the Sandy Hook school shooting. How do you even begin to tackle these challenges?
So when you're called into a response as a public health leader, facing something as devastating as the shootings in the Sandy Hook Elementary School, as scary and devastating as even the notion of the spread of Ebola was to people in this country, it's really important to remember that your role is one of service in which you are actually called to work on behalf of millions of people, thousands of people, at the same time that you have to remember that there are individual people and family who are really depending on you in the moment. So it's humbling. It's also the kind of work that requires you to really say, what's my best contribution to this effort? Because any kind of disaster requires a response that incorporates a number of types of expertise. That means it can call upon a lot of leaders who need to come together to do their best work. And sometimes it's hard for leaders when they convene that way to realize that they don't have to be the leader, but to really collaborate well, leading with their best skill set or strong suit, but not getting in the way of other people.
You were on the committee organizing COVID-19 vaccine distribution. What aspects were you involved in?
So I was one of an entire group that worked through a number of ethical principles to really say, what does a fair distribution look like in the context of a scarce supply in a pandemic that we know has affected some populations more severely than others, and a pandemic that has had such dramatic health and public health consequences that we can't forget to protect those who are protecting us first. So most affected people, older people in long-term care facilities, and then the medical and other responders who are still going to work every day to take care of us and protect us. And one of the privileges of being in a committee like that is you get to reinforce for people that the notion of fairness or equity isn't just some kind of sort of an academic exercise. It really gives us a chance to ask people to go inside themselves and consider whether or not they really believe in fairness and justice.
How do you approach leadership in a way that allows you to enjoy your personal life as well?
So I have tried not to abandon myself and the things that are important to me and figure out how to adapt some of the things I can't do in the same way so I can at least do them on a small scale. I will start every week by saying to myself, okay, I know what my calendar looks like. Where am I on my calendar? I've been very focused on the well-being of my team, of the staff that work with me, really setting aside time for us to just talk and check in with one another, because I have a pretty privileged existence in a lot of ways, and they're not struggling necessarily, but it's been important for us to maintain some cohesion and try to reinforce where hope is, that we're actually getting through this. Stepping away from the things that you're driving hard to accomplish so that you can take care of yourself is wisdom. It's not failure. It's wisdom. We have to give ourselves the breaks and the times to recharge so that we can keep going.
How do you approach leadership, and how have you seen this leadership in our Austin community this year?
I was a psychology major in college, and one of the reasons I really like psychology is I studied a lot of organizational behavior. I like to see myself as a transformational leader, like that big vision that you really want to get people to move forward on. but it's not all about me. So sometimes I am that convene people, help others see the vision and do what's necessary to get other people to want to share it. But I also wrote a paper once that was about how much followership is an important component of leadership. So, because it doesn't always have to be mine. So when I can admire that somebody else who has more capacity to achieve something that I'm also really passionate about, if I can get behind them and be a follower and a support, I also take that as a way to lead. And part of being a leader is learning how to be strategic in some of what you do. And so part of being strategic is also knowing which leadership style to deploy at different times. And that's where, I push back when people say I'm humble, because I think some people think, or too humble, well, put yourself out there more. I know when to put myself out there more. It doesn't have to be all the time.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I really, really appreciate it, and I've learned a lot, and I'm really, really happy that I got to talk to you. I'm gonna go home and tell my mom about all the things that I heard from you, because she majored in public health in college, and so I'm really excited to talk to her about it.
Have fun, run as much as you want.
Thank you.
And I'm proud to know you, so thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll call you, I'll contact you about my tour.
For sure. I will be happy to give you a tour.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow, Sabine's interviews with Ariana Maldonado and Dr. Jewel Mullen were so impactful. Thank you, Ariana and Dr. Mullen.
The biomedical pathway provides my and Richard's sisters with practical and sound research skills in investigating the human body, cell biology, and genetic diseases, preparing them for the fields like forensics, medicine, and lab research.
Make a gift tonight to the Ann Richards School Foundation to help all Ann Richards students commit to pursuing a challenging and transformative educational journey, believing that through hard work, achieving their dreams is possible.
Are you ready for a surprise? It's time to present the Ann Richards Legacy Award. To help reveal this year's winner, please join me in watching this video.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's luncheon. The reason we are here today is really to thank you all for everything that you do, not just this year, but everything that you have done for this school. I am honored to present all of you with this year's Ann Richards Legacy Award. Each year we give the award to those who serve as role models to the young women of this school throughout the nation and the world. The girls that you all educate are going out to change the world. You rose to the occasion and you continued to carry our stars forward into a bright future. So thank you so much for all you do.
As you know, my mom was a school teacher and that's how she started out. The thing that she always said was that teaching school was the hardest work that she ever did. And which is pretty profound given that I think she had some pretty darn hard jobs. And here y'all are not only teaching, but breaking ground every day in terms of innovation and really driving the future of education, not only for our girls here, but for the country. And then doing that in a pandemic. So we really have asked so much of you every day in this last year plus, and I just appreciate you so much, and I love being part of this mission and love getting to be here with you today.
Each and every one of you, at least most of you, have been preparing us for college from the moment we stepped foot into this school. Well, not this school to be exact, but these school grounds nonetheless. Whether by taking us on college tours or giving us the amount of schoolwork we will possibly have to endure when attending college, or even just by being there for us when we're seeking any kind of college-related advice, or just advice in general. As sixth graders, we would always ponder the idea of attending college eventually, but it never really registered yet what it would entail to get there. But when the day came where we finally had to make a decision, even amidst this current pandemic, we were able to do so with a steady hand, thanks to you. You all have set us up for success, and I know from the bottom of my heart that even after we graduate from college, we will continue to accomplish greatness, because for us stars, the sky is not the limit. I am deeply honored to be a part of presenting you all with this year's Legacy Award.
I just want to say congratulations, because not only for this Legacy Award, but also because y'all endured this year with such grace and courage that honestly no human is capable of. Y'all are all superheroes right here. This year, I want to say I have seen my teachers' hands come to me as I have become an extra income into my family, as my parents getting sick and my sister as well. For some while, I was the one buying the groceries. I was the one helping pay the bills. And with my mom's fluctuating job most of the time, I really needed that extra day just to finish an assignment, or just making the assignment just a little bit shorter for me to finish it. And I just want to say thank you to all those teachers that did it for me, and thank you to all the teachers who did it for others as well, because I know I'm not the only one. This year has come with a lot of difficulties, and I just want to say that I am thankful to all the teachers who did that for me, and I will forever take that in my heart. And not only this year, but all the years before, because I know that once I came to y'all and I told y'all what was going on, y'all forgot about the homework. Y'all forgot about what I had to do, but instead put me first. Y'all put y'all's feelings aside, y'all's grades aside, and y'all put me there. And with that, I just want to say thank you to all of y'all. Y'all more than deserve this, and y'all will forever be in my heart, not only here, but forever.
I'm truly honored and a bit nervous to be here today helping present this very fitting and well-deserved award. As you may know, the Legacy Award is given to those who embody our mission statement. Looking back, I realized the thing about our staff is that they see potential in us even when we don't see it in ourselves. They believed in our writing, in our art, in our theories, and most importantly, in us. Now, if you asked 6th grade me to give you an example of a leader, I probably would have said something like the CEO of a major company or a big shot politician. But if you were to ask me that same question today, I would say leaders are the administration that creates a vision, counselors and advisors that demonstrate overwhelming compassion, custodians that display perseverance all while keeping a smile on their face, and teachers who remain dedicated regardless of obstacles. You all took the responsibility of being leaders in the classroom so that we could be leaders of the world. You gave us the questions so we could find our own answers, even if we had to erase that answer a couple of times. As seniors, it feels bittersweet to say goodbye, but I remember once seeing something that said, "You have to stand afar to see a star shine." And so we are leaving ARS to shine like the bright stars everyone here has shaped us to be. And as cliche as it sounds, there will never be enough words to express our gratitude, but the impact you have on our lives will last an eternity. And so once again, we would like to say congratulations to the Ann Richards Legacy Award winners. We are so thankful for all that you do to help us. Woo!
Rock star. Louise. You had me freezing. You had me crying and laughing.
Thank you so much. It's what you guys deserved. You deserve more than we could even say.
Okay, I want a picture with my trophy here.
So today was a really good day to hear it.
It is an honor and privilege to award the Ann Richards School faculty and staff with the Ann Richards Legacy Award after such a challenging year plus. Their commitment to our learning during a pandemic was like no other, and we are forever grateful for their positive impact on our education.
This summer, the Ann Richards School Foundation is helping our faculty hit the reset button after a hard year through providing funding for summer workshops and professional development.
You can help our faculty now through a donation in their honor for receiving the Ann Richards Legacy Award. Thank you.
Each day, as Ann Richards students, we commit to the school's mission statement.
We want to succeed and become the best versions of ourselves.
That's why we will win college and our future.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Bettis and I will be attending St. Edward's University.
Hi everyone, my name is Anastasia Ortega. Next fall I'll be attending Texas Christian University, where I'll be on the pre-law track majoring in political science.
My name is Ruby Seaman and I'm going to Wesleyan University.
My name is Lisbeth Frausto, and I'll be attending Yale University.
Hi, I'm Allison Barreto. This fall, I will be attending Northeastern University and majoring in bioengineering.
My name is Arden Price, and I'm majoring in International Studies at Fordham University.
Hi, my name is Camille Pfister, and I'm going to Sewanee, the University of the South, and I'm majoring in English Literature and minoring in Education.
Hi, I'm Victoria Ogin, and I will be going to St. Mary's University on a full scholarship, where I will also be playing the violin for the St. Mary's Orchestra and the St. Mary's Mariachi.
Hi, I'm Ruthie McMillan, and I'm going to SMU in the fall. Pony up!
Hi, I'm Miranda Banda, and next fall I'll be attending the University of Oklahoma.
My name is Anaisa Pinales. I'm going to Colorado State University to study biomedical engineering.
My name is Annalisa Garcia, and I'm going to be studying political science at American University next fall.
Hi, my name is Melina Tierra Blanca, and I will be attending Trinity University.
I'm Castle Smouse, and in the fall, I'll be majoring in psychology at St. Edward's University.
My name's Emmy, and I'll be attending Texas A&M to study engineering.
Hi, my name's Olivia Ruby, and next year I'm going to be attending the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Hi, my name is Elena Guajardo, and I am ridiculously hyped to be attending Trinity University.
Hi, I will be attending my dream school with a full ride to Boston University with a political science major on the pre-law track.
My name is Hannah McIntyre, and in the fall, I will be attending Concordia University, Texas, and majoring in religious education.
Hi, my name is Calista Marquez, and I'm super excited to be attending Texas State in the fall.
Hi, my name is Francesca Abrazis, and I'll be attending Southwestern University.
Hello, my name is Alilia Carrillo, and I'll be attending Rice University this fall.
Hi, I'm Victoria Aviles, and I'll be attending Houston-Tillotson University.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Ruiz. I will be attending Concordia University this upcoming fall, and I will be majoring in business.
Good night, and thank you for joining us at Reach for the Stars.
Good night, and thank you for joining us at Reach for the Stars.
Good night, and thank you for joining us at Reach for the Stars.
Good night, and thank you for joining us at Reach for the Stars.